If someone says in order to be a person you need to look like a human, in other words have arms, legs, torso, then what about someone like Nick Vujicic? Nick was born without arms and legs. Does he still look like he fits the criteria of a person? If it's based on having your five senses, like taste, touch, sound and smell, what about those who are blind or those who are deaf? They lack those functions, are they less of a person? And what about someone who can't feel pain? Take for example someone like Gabby Gingras. She has a neurological condition where she can't feel pain at all in her body. Would it therefore be okay to deny her personhood status and take away her right to life? If they say personhood should be based on self-awareness, then newborns aren't self-aware until they're about 2 weeks old. Does this mean that this 1 week old isn't a person because they're not self-aware? If they say you're not a person until you're conscious, then what about someone who's fainted? Or someone who's under local anaesthetic? Or someone who's asleep? They're not conscious, are they no longer persons? If they say you must be viable, what about someone who's on life support or on a ventilator? They can't breathe by themselves or survive by themselves. Are they not persons? Or what about someone like Stephen Hawking? He was totally dependent on others for survival. Does that mean that he wasn't a person because he was dependent? If you think about it, someone who's under anaesthetic isn't conscious, self-aware, sentient, but we would never say that it would be okay to deny them from personhood status in that state and to even kill them. You see, when we start drawing these dangerous lines for personhood to be based on how we function, most of us at some point in our lives will end up in the danger zone if we lack a specific function. This is why our personhood should be based on the one thing that we always all have in common, which is our humanity. When we look throughout history at when the term person was used, it was often used to determine who would get the right to life. And we can see in this example, in the eyes of the law, the slave is not a person. In this picture, personhood wasn't based on being human, it was based on the colour of your skin. An Indian is not a person within the meaning of the Constitution, when personhood was based on race. Native Americans between 1840 and 1890 forced into reservation camps and killed for convenience. The statutory word person did not in these circumstances include women, when personhood was based on gender up until the early 20th century. The Reichsgericht itself refused to recognise Jews as persons in the legal sense, when personhood was based on religion, and now age. This notion of personhood has been used time and time again throughout history for the strong to override the rights of the weak. This is why the Universal Declaration of Human Rights was first established, to prevent crimes against humanity. And we can see here in Article 3 and 6 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, it states that everyone has the right to life, liberty and security of person. And everyone has the right to recognition everywhere as a person before the law. If our society truly believes in human rights, then our right to life should be based on the one thing that we always all have in common, and that is our humanity.